one there too. So welcome everybody. So YouTube, Epstein gets files going out there, and is that worthwhile? Is it something you should be all excited about? I don't know, but it seems to me immediately like it's a joke. Okay, so immediately it looks like a joke to me. There we go, we're on YouTube now. So with that in mind, I thought we would maybe talk about it. Here we go. Now, what do I mean by a joke? So, first of all, it's Mossad, right? We didn't talk about this. Dan Bongino comes out there, gets elected. This whole, look, a lot of winning with Trump. I'm fine with that, but there's also just a lot of cringe that's been happening as well. And some of that cringe, what do I mean by that? Well, some of it is just really the whole who gets in, and some of Trump has a problem. Just keep going with this music. Trump has a problem of, we've said this before about sometimes people that he picks, and they're pissing off the left. That's perfectly fine. Oh, you mentioned Mossad. Nope. No part 2 binder for you, Tyler. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I'm skeptical with a lot of this, and I know a lot of it's been out there. So Dan Bongino gets elected as the FBI director, and he's just railed against the deep state before, but now he's in there. But he's not calling for his job to be eliminated, which is what you would probably hope to be if that's really how he felt about it. So I have just no compunction that, and it's deep state people back in the deep state. It's, Doge is the only thing that seems to be doing anything. We just talked about this the other day, where Massey's trying to get, budget reduced, and none of the Republicans are on board for it. So I don't know. I'm just kind of like with a lot of this. And then they come out and they're going to release the Epstein files. And you're first of all, you're like, wait, there's too many people that seem to have protected issues with all this. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of Zionists in America that seem to be getting this stuff, and it seems to be that's the connection it all goes back to. And I know people like, Dan Bongino went on Tim Pool, and he's like, I don't know if that's like, dude, someone told you it was a Middle Eastern country. Now, maybe you're being protective about the way you want to deal with this, but are you that bright? You got to be bright enough to know that it's who it is. And if you can't say it outright, then you shouldn't really be in the FBI, I think. Now, people are like, well, I think you should be able to keep this silent. And, no. If you're getting out there and you're going to cause trouble and you're going to make all kinds of accusations and whatnot, which you do, then you should be able to go and make comments about who's actually this is all about. And if you can't do that, then I don't know. Sadly, it's maybe it's a problem. Okay, so let's take a look here. I think I had some saved stuff. This to me. Okay, so I guess I should be really. Let's see here. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, let's just go binders. I should probably just go on Twitter, because it's crazy, and we could also listen into a little bit here. The Epstein file binder delivered to influencers today was a redacted re-release of information already publicly available online. Okay, so there you go. I wanted to see some of these people. Pam Bondi. So here we go. Let's take a look over here at some of this stuff coming in here, and I do want to make sure. Sorry. Let's go over to here to YouTube. Just make sure we're not missing any comments. One of these days, these emergency sessions aren't always the way to go, I guess, for me. It's been a rough day at work. Okay. Okay. Well, we do have people in the chat here. For some reason, it's not showing up. Let's see if I can activate this here. All right. Well, I'll just have to deal with it. Let's pop this chat out. Okay. So, you mentioned Mossad. Okay, we got that. JC's in here. Scott's in here. Minder's in here. This isn't live, by the way. It says JC. Yeah, it's not live, by the way. Okay, so here it is. I don't know who this person is, but I'm just going for some of the big stuff here. I hate it when it's not live. Thanks, Minder. Pam Bondi, we're releasing. She's the AG or something like that. We're releasing the first of the Epstein files today. There was a quote from her. Americans, cool. Then we'll get to read them. Bondi. Well, actually, you'll get to see a fun little photo shoots of conservative personalities and influencers holding a binder. And then this guy's like, don't get me wrong, I like most of these people in the photo. And I'm like, so her, I don't know that I have her blocked, but definitely have Libs of TikTok blocked. Definitely have DC Drano blocked. I don't know who this is back here. Is that Cernovich? I definitely have him blocked. Definitely have Pozo blocked, Posovich or whatever his name is. Just the most, and there you go, more just despicable human beings, in my opinion. So this is all a great reminder of just the trash that's out there. And they're getting these binders. Remember, the binders full of women was a big deal with Romney. And I bet DC Drano, someone told him, they're like, hey, I'll give you a binder full of women. He's up there fine. And so he gets this, and it's not the dating service that he thought it was going to be, although it might be. Who knows? Forrest Mommy's in the house. She says, hi, JC. Oh, this isn't live. It is live. Stop it. I don't like anyone in that photo. I was playing a Paco Joker Minder. Yeah, okay. Saying blocked all these fools. Yeah, exactly. Blocking them, perfectly good, as you should, because it's just cringe. And then this comes out there, and it reminds me of, once again, this is where I lose the hope in this binder stunt was so bizarre. Yeah, lose some of this hope or the possibility of whatever with Trump, which is sometimes he gets excited with people on TV. And so this is how he's doing it. This is how you're going to do it. I don't trust the deep state at all. So you've got to understand when stuff is coming out like this, unless it's leaked through Julian Assange, Snowden et al., it's probably not legit. Okay, it's very curated. I mean, do you think you're really going to get anything at this point? The JFK files, MLK, they're really not. You're not going to. I'm sorry, you're not. If they had a chance and it's there, they're not just going to keep it under wraps. Now they're saying, oh, these things are being destroyed. I don't even know if I believe that. And the reason I don't believe that is because why, when Trump was elected, did they not destroy it then? Instead, they're destroying it now. It all seems like all cover for these people. There you go. So let's keep reading through some of these people online. So Ian Carroll, I don't know if you guys trust him at all. It's too tall to trust, in my opinion, but definition of a fumble. Everything in those binders should be online in PDF format already. Then you can have your Con Inc. influence parade if you want to burn your optics down again. Yeah, okay, I believe that. If any of these guys are real journalists, they would put the entire contents online. I don't even care if they're a real journalist. I mean, they're not. But something tells me the grift is getting started. Yes, definitely it is. But I don't even know how much I trust him. Okay, so here's another post. I'm just randomly going through posts on this binder shit. I just put binders in the search up here, and we're just walking through different stuff. 5 people chosen to receive Epstein binder are affiliates of the wellness company. Okay, this is significant because the co-owners work directly for Eric Prince at Blackwater, and Prince is wrangling for a $25 billion contract right now. Liz Wheeler, DC Drano, Aaron Wexler, Jack Posobiec, and Chad Prather. Okay, but they all, okay, let's see what else we have here. I think they all posted these people. I mean, this is, these people are just so disturbing. These pictures, here you got more of this, this Epstein shit. I don't even know what's in there. Someone got rickrolled, okay. More binders, Chaya Raychik or whatever, the libs of TikTok. More of this stuff. I was looking for, let's see here. I'm going to go back here so you don't have to see all this stuff here. Let's go back here because I did, okay, here we go. Let's pull this one up. Breaking: social media influencers who received the Epstein binder were caught posting identical messages, making it seem like a coordinated advertisement. Well, no shit. So here's what DC Drano, today I met with President Trump, VP J.D. Vance, AG Pam Bondi, and FBI Director Kash Patel in the Oval Office. They handed me a binder copy of Epstein files. This is just so weird. I'm sorry. This is a fumble on Trump's side. It's a fumble on Kash Patel. Everything. It's like, okay, I get it. Maybe we just want to burn all this shit down. But then you act like fucking children. And this, it's like a multi-level marketing is how you're campaigning this. I got a binder. I went there. I paid my money. I sat in a conference room at the hotel for 6 hours this weekend. And now I get to talk about it and push. It's cringe beyond belief. And I don't know why, it's really pissing me off. I've really got enraged about this, seeing these losers up there. And it's not that these losers are the ones getting the attention. It's that they are presenting it to everyone as if this is some reality. This is not reality. You're not getting anything you want. You're not getting this Epstein list. You're not getting the situation, who's behind it. You're not getting why these people down in, was it Florida or Georgia or whatever, when this first came about, how Epstein grew, none of this. You're getting a fucking binder that no one gives a shit about. Zach says, good afternoon, Tyler. Holy shit, working on Rumble. Yes, it is. It's not even a month in and we're already pulling a safe and effective NPC response. Actually, it's just over a month in. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm not being able to pull up the YouTube comments. That's just on me. It didn't broadcast out there right away to it, but we're looking good. But you guys do get to see it. It restreams it over there, so we're trying here. Okay, so most transparent administration in American history. Look, and I'm not necessarily trashing the administration, but you are picking people that are making this look like a complete joke. No offense, but you are making it look like a joke. Best part, this is just the start. AG Bondi confirmed there are thousands more Epstein files documents being secretly held in the SDNY, and they delivered to the DOJ in DC by February. People are going to jail for what they've done. No, they're not. They're not going to jail for what they've done, and I don't think maybe you can see it all on the screen there. But this guy, this is cover. This is, we're not letting it out the bag. This is my interpretation, okay? That they're not letting out everything that actually went down or all the files. So then what you say is you go, oh, they're with the FDNY. They're with someone else. And then this Chad Prather and I don't dislike this guy, but it's the exact same write-up from two prominent people. Disturbing. These are crazy. Jack Posobiec is going on, Catholics trust you. Please remember that. What's going? Do Catholics trust? I don't trust Catholics, but do Catholics really trust Jack Posobiec? I mean, it's grifting losers after grifting losers, time after time after time. Forced Mommy had to leave, I guess, or Minder had to leave. I don't know. All these influencers are discredited forever. Block, mute them all. Absolutely, Alan. I've been I went through them, and I've already had them blocked and muted for quite some time, and it's all just ones that are the most worse on some of the big issues right now in the Middle East, right? And I was thinking about this, and you can't obviously say this correctly, but if you had people, remember there was Trump-Russia collusion, that was a big deal, and there wasn't as much ties to Russia with Trump as there are to Israel with our own government, and it's crazy. It's crazy if you say, and this, I'm going to play this here because this is something that Forced Mommy posted up here, and let's see, let's make sure. Okay, I think the
following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, "When certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic. In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind."
Fascist political party, radicals on the far right, anti-Semitic, xenophobic,
transphobic,
Uncle Tom's
white supremacist,
domestic terrorist,
neo-Nazi organizer,
Nazis.
You are an anti-vaxxer,
Anti-vaxxers,
racist,
Okay, that's nice, but don't forget the Posobiecs. I mean, the DC Dranos. They do the same thing. They do the exact same thing. It's just a tactic. So it doesn't necessarily mean you're just communist and therefore, there's the only ones that follow this plan. There's other people follow the exact same plan, the same thing. I'm not redheaded. I'm sorry. I got that. It was libertarian, redheaded libertarian, not Forced Mommy. I just had you on the brain instead of her. Okay, so don't get all worked up. It's not like I called you. I don't know. Who's someone out there? Anyway, so I just was doing a quick show. We're going to do, although let me see, because I have I gotta go find my wife here in a second. Let me see. She's still at the vets with my daughter. So we'll keep going here. We'll keep going. Maybe we'll talk about Dan Bongino and his crazy shit with Tucker Carlson because why not? Okay, I'm Wayne Cooler. It's all good. Yeah. So look, I had an issue with the redheaded libertarian a few years ago. She's fine. She's perfectly fine. But my problem, she falls into this bracket, which is so easy of left is all bad, right is all good, and or libertarian right for her. And I don't think that's always the case. This thing with Israel is exact. Well, it brings it to the fore, which is there's a lot of the left that would agree kind of more with my stance. But even them, I don't want anything to do with them. So you can agree on different aspects and you can agree on different things, and you don't have to really get there. Dan Bongahito, yeah. It's really weird that both sides use anti-Semitic so often. I wonder why. Yeah, well, it does play into that because the anti-Semitic one is the perfect one, or the Nazi one, right? But the anti-Semitic, it really goes to it because racist doesn't really work as much anymore. But if you say anti-Semitic, and to be anti-Semitic is such a bigger umbrella. Now you're not. It's a few things. One is you're a bigot, so we don't have to listen to you. But two, you actually want the Jews to die. That's really what they're trying to tell you. So you're not a human. We've seen that with the burned babies and whatnot. It's not just bad enough. It's this with criminal stuff, which is now with murder. You do have different aspects of murder: first degree, second degree, manslaughter, whatnot, because it does make a difference, and that's called your mens rea, your intent there. But then there's enhancements of like hate crimes, and I'm like, okay, but if you're murdering someone, does it really matter that your heart wanted them dead too? I mean, because of who they are? No, it shouldn't make any difference. So when you're really being able to parse this out, that is that's something that when you can start to say that they're, Hamas came over and they killed Israelis on October 7th. Good grief. I mean, it's bad, right? That's good enough. But then you've got to go and say it's that they, there's a baby there. You have to show they are complete animals. And if they're animals, you don't have to have any grace yourself. You don't have to do anything. Even though, as a Christian, you should show mercy. Now you don't have to do that. So there you go. There, that's how it works. So anyway, I find that's pretty nasty. Let's go here. Let's talk about, because I'm gonna do a show tomorrow, and I got a bunch of stuff lined up here. But I think maybe we'll go into this real quick, which is, and I know people have talked about it. It's Dan Crenshaw, and there we go. This is him. He did an interview, and he doesn't like Tucker, so he made this comment. And let's go ahead and play this.
Have you ever met Tucker?
Now, the host is still mic'd up. Crenshaw is not, but you can hear what he says if you work on it. But they put, he says, we've talked a lot. And this guy laughs, and it's off screen. Now, he says later on, it was an uncomfortable laugh, but he's like, hey, he was obviously joking. He's the worst. No, so he re-emphasized the fact that he was not actually doing that. Now, so let me get back to this one. So with that in mind, I mean, there's a bunch of, there's news reports about it, but here's Dan's tweet. Okay, so he comes out here and he's like, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I also think is not smart, she said, did you threaten to kill my friend Tucker? And he says, LOL, no. Now, I will just tell you, there are things which he's promoted out here, red flag laws, gun domestic violence restraining orders that you can get. And when it says about Dan Crenshaw, has he promoted these before? So I asked, has Congressman Crenshaw promoted, or advocated for red flag laws? And this says Crenshaw has had a nuanced history with red flag laws concerning guns. In August 2019, following mass shootings in El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio, he suggested that state-level red flag laws or gun violence restraining orders could be worth considering as part of a broader conversation on preventing gun violence. He emphasized the importance of due process protections in such measures, indicating a willingness to explore them rather than a firm endorsement. His stance drew criticism for some conservatives and gun right advocates who viewed as a departure from Second Amendment principles. And then it goes on to say where he's kind of backed off of that. But you know what? Once a red flag, a fag, always a red fag. So with that in mind, this is what's interesting is his comments actually go to the point that Tucker Carlson could get a gun violence restraining order against him. It doesn't take much to get one. Matter of fact, let's see if I even have it here. He's also bad on Israel. But you can get it if it's just a threat of violence, and the standard is preponderance of the evidence, so it's very easy to get. So it's interesting that his comments alone, if red flag laws, if Tucker Carlson wanted to do this, or even one of his coworkers could go out there and possibly get a red flag, a gun violence restraining order against him and make him have to do that. Weird. Okay, that's what we said. Almost like they're on the same side. Yes, good point there, y'all. Let's go back to Twitter, and what I was going to do here. Let's just let's join in progress. Are they still going here? I thought they were doing a Spaces with Mario and talking about this Epstein stuff. Let's see if they still are. And the desktop version isn't always the best way to go about it. I'm not seeing one now. Okay, well, maybe they're done, or maybe it's done and over. But I was listening to it earlier, and it wasn't all that interesting. Epstein. Let's see if we got any more good Epstein shit coming in, because that's really where I want to take this. Okay, maybe Ken Silva has something for us here. He's like, oh my God, they released record indicating that Epstein was an FBI informer. Oh wait, that has been public for years. Okay. Would you like I'm not seeing anything interesting. Let's see what this says. This is from Tim Pool. Before you came into office, Director Patel. This is from Pam Bondi. I requested a full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. In response to this request, I received approximately 200 pages of documents, which consisted primarily of flight logs, Epstein's list of contacts, and a list of victims' names and phone numbers. I repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents responsive to my request, and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we had received the full set of documents. Late yesterday, I learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the FBI, to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated request, the FBI never disclosed the existence of these files. When you and I spoke yesterday, you were just as surprised to learn of this new information. By the way, I'll do that when I'm done. By 8 a.m. tomorrow, February 20th, the FBI will deliver a full and complete Epstein files to my office, including all records, documents, audio and video recordings, materials related to Epstein and his client. Regardless of how such information was obtained, there will be no withholdings or limitations to my or your access. The Department of Justice will ensure that any public disclosure of these files will be done in a manner to protect the privacy of victims and in accordance with the laws. I've done my entire career as a prosecutor. I am also directing you to conduct an immediate investigation to why my order to the FBI was not followed. You will deliver to me a comprehensive report of your findings and proposed personnel action within 14 days. So he's got a list of bullet points he has to do within 14 days. What have I done today? I appreciate your immediate attention to this matter. I know that we both committed to transparency for the American people, and I look forward to continuing the work with you to serve our country, president and our country. Possibly. Now, this is Tim Pool. He takes everything now I've found at face value. He literally, I think he blew himself on air the other day talking about Dan Bongino. His point was this. Dan Bongino is perfect for the job because he's turning down millions in the world to do podcasts or whatever to serve his country, much like Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk still makes money, and all he's doing is this on the side. But his point about Bongino is it's ridiculous to even assume that, and the reason being is because we've talked about Mitch McConnell, Pelosi, all these Schumer, the millions of dollars that they are worth having been in government. He's done with government. It may forestall a little bit of his income right now. But when he's done, he's going to be able to say, I was a deputy director of the FBI. There'll be speaking engagements. There'll be forever this on his resume, unless he really fucks up. And so he will end up making more money and probably having, insider trading and everything else that you have there. So I do not believe for an instance that he's doing this necessarily. Why assume any of these people are wholesome and good and doing it for a virtuous reason? It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, so now Forrest Mommy's over in the Rumble chat. There you go. If you guys want to go over there, I could at least display your tweets, your posting online. So there you go. What else do you got here with Epstein? Literally had everything that implicated Mossad's connection to the Jeffrey Epstein case. Yeah. So get enraged. That's Lauren Witzke. I think that's she works with or something with what's his name, Elijah Schaffer. So I don't even know what this is. I mean, this is. Look at, they're so transparent. I mean, come on. If you want to protect, victims as an example that haven't been outed, perfectly fine. Other than that, fuck that. I mean, this is a criminal situation. Why are you redacting almost anything out there? I'm glad they released the Epstein files to Cernovich. Yeah, it's with Dershowitz and Dershowitz with Epstein. Okay, there you go. That's a lot. We talked about that. DC, I don't know, someone's cat. Okay, let's hear what Luke has to say about this.
Are you freaking kidding me? We were promised the Epstein client list, and all we got was an FBI cover-up. I just did a video about this on youtube.com/wearechange. Go check it out because it's infuriating. It's pissing me off, and it's been way too freaking long, as it looks like there's a larger possibility that they already deleted the files. We have James Comey's daughter in charge of the files, and us getting the truth here, the chances of it just went down significantly. Again, tune in, youtube.com/wearechange right now.
Okay, tune in to Okay, I don't want to hear that. We're just walking through. I'm just doing this because I don't know what's out there with it all, but we're checking it out. Now Forrest Mommy's back in the YouTube chat. I'm very confused. Andy says Rumble no worky. Okay, well maybe we're let me see. I'm still streaming to X. It says YouTube. It says LPR there. So I don't know. We will see if this is all good. Okay, let's see what Ian Carroll has to say here. We'll just start this here.
Holy shit! They actually just released the Epstein files. They just.
I'm sorry. Why are you doing this? What is this? What is this about? But it's half back. What is that? Why are you doing that? You're like 7 feet tall. Why do you act like an idiot?
Put them all online unredacted, and now we have all the information.
Not only that, but I know he does TikTok things. So everything on his shirt is backwards because you don't know how to use a phone the correct way. As an example, I'm using a phone as one of my cameras right here, but if I had a shirt on, it would be correct. You'd be able to read it, right? Because I don't understand. My daughter does better shit than this. What's wrong with these people? I'm sorry. I'm blowing everybody out today, Ian Carroll included.
What they decided to do instead is to have a private meeting with a bunch of very mainstream conservative influencers in the White House where they...
Not mainstream. I don't even know that they're conservative. They're a bunch of jackasses that got let out of a mental institution and they allowed them into the White House. That's
gave them all binders of the current first phase of disclosure. And now everything is going crazy. I'm going to try to not be super sassy and to actually give a balanced take on this one. First off, why is it not online in PDF format first right now already so that everyone can look at the...
This is worse than Blair Witch. I don't know if you ever saw that, but I mean, can you fucking hold something still?
Information and understand what's going on and everyone can dig in. I'm assuming that is going to be happening today or tomorrow and that this was just like, this wasn't an arranged meeting. These cameras were for a different thing and they happened to catch these guys.
No, get the fuck out of here. That is the most bullshit thing. You've got DC Drano, the labia of TikTok, Pam Bondi, Cernovich, Chad Prather, Posobiec. You think those people didn't arrange for someone to be out there? I mean, I'm surprised they didn't all have helmet cams on. That's the dumbest take.
All walking out of the Oval Office. And so they kind of got ambushed by a bunch of media that was there for...
These people didn't want anybody to know. They're all holding it up like they just got their diploma. And they didn't... They got ambushed. Look, I'm just taking this at face value because this is clearly so stupid. And Ian, I don't have any problems with Ian. I don't care one way or another, but you can't be saying shit like this. Like, I mean, listen to what he says.
That is going to be happening today or tomorrow, and that this was just like, this wasn't an arranged meeting. These cameras were for a different thing, and they happened to catch these guys all walking out of the Oval Office, and so they kind of got ambushed by a bunch of media that was there for Keir Starmer. And so this was not supposed to be publicly sort of a thing right now, but it is. So a little bit of grace that maybe the PDFs are coming, maybe it is all going online, and that this is more of just a formality, like a way of symbolizing that we want the new media involved in the case, which is a great look. Can't help but point out, though, that the new media that they chose, well, there's a number of personalities here, like there's Scott Pressler, I notice. I'm not really familiar with this woman's work at all. I know that Jack Posobiec is involved. Then there's DC Drano and Chaya Raichu.
I'm sorry, these are not, and I know, the whole idea, Trump goes out there, there's an election, he gets partially elected from alternate media, and we've all got that. I'm doing this kind of stuff here in my media, or more like punditry. Punditry is really what I do. But you are not going to, if these are people that maybe couldn't get a show on Fox or The Blaze, and some of them are on Fox and The Blaze. These are not alternative media. These are turning into, and it's sad because they don't give you any, it's the Daily Wire, right? The Daily Wire, they get you worked up over something. Next thing you know, they're selling you Semitic chocolates. They're selling you cigars. They're selling you something or other because they want you worked up so they can grift off of you. That's all it, that's what it is.
Whatever her name is. These two. And those two are both super Zionist, pro-Israel folk, which is okay. You can believe that if you want to believe that, but probably not the best people to represent disclosure when one of the primary questions that everyone has is exactly how much involvement did Israel have in this, because we all know that Jeffrey Epstein was working for Israel. So we probably don't want a bunch of Israel apologists in charge of the only copies of the documents that the public is getting. Like if you read through Chaya's page, it's literally just a whole bunch of Israeli Hasbara retweeted for your propaganda consumption. And if you don't know what Hasbara is,
I gotta go there, but let's go to the chat here. Sorry, once again, I can't bring up the YouTube chat, but I'll read them here. Bradley says, if all those reporters were there for the Trump-Starmer meeting, then I highly doubt those grifters met with Trump, Vance, Bondi, and Patel. I don't know. That's what Chad Prather, they all had a... I hope you're mocking the tweet that they put out. Also, why is Bondi and Patel writing back and forth to each other, these long letters? Okay, thank you for Bradley Scarborough for bringing me back to reality, which is that letter. This letter reminds me of something. So, if you don't know, I'm a family law attorney, and so a lot of hearings, trials, and you're always trying to do things. So there's clients that will do this, or opposing parties that do this, which is they send an email to, and I tell them to do things somewhat similar, which is you have a phone conversation. Now you want to memorialize it, right? And sometimes it's just like, hey, I don't remember, but here's a recap of our conversation. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. And so it's someone out there, and that other person can acknowledge it and say, no, we never had that conversation. Or yes, that is the correct thing. So it's at least memorialized. But sometimes you get them where they just keep sending things out there and like that, almost like an alibi, like they're trying to, and that read it stunk. That letter from Bondi to Patel reminded me a lot of that, where it was kind of like, hey, remember, we did, this happened. And it's like, okay, why are you fucking selling this? No one needs to know this. Now you gave him a list of things to do afterwards. Okay, that's fine. Hello, good Scott. Do you think Cerno demanded a trans concierge? Yes, he did. So we learned everything today, right? No, we didn't. We did not. That was from Patrick, so we did not learn that. Let's. Should we keep going there? No, I think Ian. Well, tell you what, we'll do this. I'm fascinated kind of with other people's commentary, and I was going to try to do a spaces here. Where do they get the spaces going here? Raven, Alex Jones. No, I don't want to watch him. He kind of bothers me too.
See Drano's account for anything like Israel, it's a similar story.
It's not just Israel. He's a horrible person. Okay, I had to block him long ago. Same with Posobiec. it's trash from top to bottom, okay, and it's self-serving. So it just.
Being said, Posobiec's reporting on the Israel situation is a little more balanced. I'm not super familiar with his stances on it, but he seems, when you scroll his page and search for Israel, he seems to at least be reporting on both sides of the thing, not just reporting atrocities from one side, but atrocities from both sides. So the whole ordeal is a really bad look. And I think I've probably got more grace than most people in this world for it being a complicated thing, and it's going to take time to release the documents. They're not just in one place, in one box, that they can just put them all online. They have to do investigations into finding all the documents that are scattered across these intelligence.
No, so Forrest Mommy says, I don't trust any of these big people. Now, I've been told Ian Carroll's like 6'8". Are you talking about him, or are you talking about the big people that
they have to vet them and make sure that they haven't been absorbed and understand. To our heroes, to people in this Palestinian victims first, but access to this administration are hamstrung, because if they were to truly report in an unbiased way on this, it seems pretty dope in a lot of regards. But remember that the guys and the girls getting access to this administration are hamstrung, because if they were to truly report in an unbiased way on this administration and to criticize this administration's flaws and to actually talk some shit when it's due, that access would probably not continue. Right. And that is unfortunately just the nature of politicians.
Sure. Okay. Let's keep going. I'll just keep scrolling, seeing if there's, it's just all that someone got rickrolled. Same thing we talked about before, that Epstein, Scott Pressler. I mean, another, I don't know. So I guess he was really helpful with the election, but I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Brett Cooper, what do I want in regards to Epstein files? I just want Justin. Okay. These people are, I'm not getting anything good. So, we're just going to have to wait. Maybe there'll be some more stuff, but it was pretty telling of who got the documents, why they got the documents, and there you go. Okay, who else we got here? I don't trust big people. Northside says here, excuse me, California family law courts, can the bailiff hold you while the next party order, I think it's cut off here, hold you while the judge drafts the next party order to have you forcibly transed? No. I'm going to say that's assault, possibly battery. Well, it would be battery, and possibly assault by the bailiff. I've seen bailiffs have to. There's crazy people in court, right? And family. It's always interesting because usually you're in family court for a few reasons, which is you want to be able to have your. Let's just say it's about kids, okay? So one of the courts here, it's a pretty big court in Sacramento. Well, it's Sacramento County. Hang on a second. Plug that shit in. The Sacramento County, you go in there and it's like, okay, this could have been the one day that you didn't have to smoke a whole bowl before you came to court. I mean, it just reeks of marijuana in there. It's like, you want your kids, maybe also, there's a restraining order, maybe not freak out at the judge. It just shows that you can't control yourself. This is the one time. Just fake it for a bit. See if we can do that. All of them are propagandists. Maggie May says, is it true what he says? If don't do what they say, they'll never get access again. I believe that's possibly true. So the question is, great point there, Maggie. So are they more about truth or are they more about access? And I know there's probably, those kind of, maybe it's a balancing test for you of how much do you, no, it's not. This is why, sometimes your principle, and by the way, I'm just saying this, I've been really enjoying lately, Candace Owens, like her or not. I think when she does a lot of research, and when she gets something in and she thinks it's the right thing, she's going for it. So she's now doing one about Harvey Weinstein. Now, I've talked about Harvey Weinstein, the appeal and the court overturning the first conviction out there in New York. I don't know the first conviction, but they were doing things in that should actually, you've got to do the right thing. And when a New York courtroom just lets you run roughshod and everyone gets to pontificate, same thing was happening with Trump in his rape, quote unquote case there as well, which is just stories, unmitigated stories of other people that then you get to influence the jury. You don't get to do that. And that's kind of what happened with Weinstein. So it's interesting. Oh my God, Tyler, did you hear Luigi Mangione might get his case dismissed on technicalities? I do not believe it. He will not. He will not get it dismissed on technicalities. And here's why. And I will look into it. I'm just assuming he's got a case, federal case. He's got a New York case, and he's got a Pennsylvania case. Okay. I don't believe that, one, they have him on video in New York. Okay. So you got him video in New York. Do you need to have, is that him? The other place? I think you could get enough of that. Now, are they going to have a more difficult time? Perhaps you don't have the gun associated because of the Pennsylvania. Did they actually read them as Miranda rights and those kind of things? Possibly. And then there's fruit of the poisonous tree, which is if you violate someone's rights, don't have a search warrant or don't read them the Miranda, then everything that comes out from there could be considered fruit of the poisonous tree, which means then you don't get to use it. But you've got 3 jurisdictions going to go after this guy for multiple things. He's not going to get thrown out on a technicality. Okay. I just don't believe that's the case. I think you're going to have enough of, is that him? Is that the same clothes? Is this perhaps the guy that you saw there? Because there was a witness that saw that at the same time. He was in New York. All these things could then say possibly him without the actual gun and whatnot. So I think you're going to have there. What else do we have here? Movies are way better when Weinstein was running. Shit. Okay. Candace Owen is weird. Huge Andrew Tate sweeper apologist. Thank you, Dr. Anik, for that, because you're correct. Tate's coming home. Now, I think I have a video we can play here. And by the way, I think I'm going to just keep trashing people. One of the people that should be trashed mercilessly is, and this isn't the one from here, so I could play this one just fine, is Laura Loomer. She's horrible. Hang on. I think my wife is calling me. Is she leaving? Let's see. She's gonna have to send me a message. I'm not catching the call, but I'm gonna have to probably take off here in a little bit. Andrew Tate. Let's go. Let's play this. Let's play this clip here. I think we got this one here. Okay, this is Ron DeSantis.
Is he welcome here? What the state do?
Talking about. The question is, I guess the Tate brothers are being released from wherever the fuck they're, Romania or Greece. I don't know, Romania, I think it is. And they were going to be going to Florida. So here's what DeSantis says about that.
We have no involvement in that. I read about it through the media. Clearly, the federal government has jurisdiction, whether they want to rebuff his entry into the United States. And I have confidence that whether it's Pam Bondi or Kristi Noem, that they will be looking at that. I do know our Attorney General, James Uthmeyer, is looking at what state hooks and jurisdiction we may have to be able to deal with this. But the reality is no, Florida is not a place where you're welcome with that type of conduct in the air. And I don't know how it came to this. We were not involved. We were not notified. I found out through the media that this was something that was happening. Okay, guys.
Okay, so with that in mind, the Tate brothers, I guess, are coming out. They are American citizens. They were born in D.C. to an American father, but they also have British citizenship, I believe. And I'm not a fan of dual citizens. So with that in mind, hang on. Let me just read this here real quick. They're flushing. Okay, hang on. Just joint card. Yeah, we have money there. Okay, it's a long story. My daughter brought home a stray, and with that stray, yeah, that's fine. I can't even get into that whole story. My wife's at the vet with this dog, asking me, "How should we pay for this? $225." I'm just kind of okay. It's a frustrating one. Sorry about that. Okay, so Tate comes in. He's an American citizen, so I don't really know what Ron DeSantis is saying, other than the guys. I'm not a fan of them at all. I mean, he looks, when he puts his sunglasses on, he looks just like Beetlejuice on Howard Stern. Not a fan. He can say all those stuff. He can look. It reminds me of we just talked about this a little bit ago, of like siding with someone that has the same stance as you on Palestine or war. They had the whole war rally in DC a few years ago, and there was a big issue because Scott Ritter was going to be there, pedo, or child porn issue. I don't know if he's a pedo. Convicted, I believe, on that, or at least admitted. And then there were, the Jackson Hinkle, a total commie. And it's like, how do you side with someone on an issue without being part of them, right? It's good. It's better to use them than them use you. So I feel that kind of way with Tate. It's like, okay, he says a lot of things that are, provocative and good on some, but I think he's a scumbag, right? So I'm not a fan of him particularly. So I just don't go out of my way because I could get what he gives somewhere else. I could get it completely somewhere else. So I don't really give a shit about him. Now, does he deserve to be able to land in the U.S.? I imagine so. I don't know. Does Florida want him? I don't know. Do you want to have him? I mean, there's a lot of, what I was trying to think of a nice slur for Cubans and whatnot down in there in Florida. There's a lot of people in Florida, the cocaine cowboys were from there. So a lot of people in Florida that you may not want either. Okay, squeeze them out. I live in California. There's a lot of people here we don't want either. So my point is with Candace is like, yeah, she gets that. And it's just like, I'm able to, okay, fine. But this is kind of where I'm at, which is I pick and choose for the most part. I see why she's saying what she's saying. Perfectly fine. I don't really have too much of a problem. And then she says other things which are fine. So it is weird. She's a Tate apologist. That's probably from a Reddit post. Okay. The technical issue in Luigi's matter, nothing of value was lost. Okay. I'll have to look into it. I don't know. Miranda warnings only apply to their statements, not the evidence they find on him, right? Yes. Anything you say or whatever can be used against you. Now, it depends if they are saying if they had a valid reason to stop him or whatnot. We'll have to look into that. But I think you're right. Well, did they have a reasonable reason to search him? Likely so. So finding the gun, yeah, you make a good point. I don't think the Miranda warning is necessarily for anything but your statements. So his statements can't come in. Fine, trash them, Tyler. Candace was the Israeli modeling agency. Could be true. She was a model. Tyler has a hot wife. True. Trump importing some new rapey browns. True. Hubblesome Tate about that pony up that $5 million gold card. Okay. I can hate the government and hate a couple of sex trafficker pimps as well. Actually, that's very true. Cat or dog? It's a dog. Pay it, she says. Yes. Ritter, 2-time convicted counselor. Okay. Scott, Raven is the better Tate. Yeah. Candace Owens' husband and Tate are longtime BFFs, apparently. Scientologists, I don't know who that is. Israel and Gaza is like choosing between Bloods and Crips, none of the above. Yeah, I completely agree on that as well. So I don't get too emotional. Look, I will say this. There is, my wife said on the way, so I'm going to have to do it. Yes. We're going to go eat some sushi with my daughter before she takes off. Okay. So I'm doing a show tomorrow. I appreciate you guys all coming in here. Come in tomorrow. Maybe the same time tomorrow, but we're going to have a show. What am I going to do tomorrow? We're going to do a few things. I'm going to talk about Diddy's lawyer, why he quit. We're going to do a little bit of that. The Tennessee trans cases are taking some new stuff. I was going to break down this red flag law with Tucker and whatnot, but I think maybe we'll dig back into some of the stuff we just did today, which is this Epstein thing. We'll get more into that. Anyway, everybody, thank you very much. And until next time, we will see you tomorrow. Just tomorrow. Come on back tomorrow.
Things are going to start happening to me now.
I think Tyler is amazing.
And I'm a fan of this show. I've watched several episodes.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. You stink, Tyler.
Never promise Daisy a baby.
Oh, I like that. That's a cool idea.
Are either of you homosexuals?
I go both ways. What do you think?
You mean like flaming or?
No, we're not homosexual, but we are willing to learn.
But I do wonder, for others, in other cases, whether libertarianism today is just an excuse for many on the right to act selfishly.
Look at me. And then some fat asses in Washington started having opinions. The Olympic Committee started having opinions. You bitch, I know you. You started writing your opinions.
And it just makes me wonder, you're dead, bitch. Why are you doing this to this poor guy?
I don't care. I'm a libertarian. What I'm getting is...
Did you vote for Judge Jorgensen or Trump?
Joe Jorgensen.
That was the